Let me tell you a story. Just kidding. I'm not Hamza. But I will tell you a very recent story. So I was working with a client who is a local gym owner for quite a while. And I was getting mediocre results, honestly, like 10 to 15 leads per month on a good day. Like it really was not going well. So then Black Friday comes along and I get 5 leads after running for 20 days. After running ads for 20 days, I get 5 leads. And I spent like, I think 60, $70 per lead, which is really high. It was supposed to be like 20. And so the client and I try and figure shit out. He's frustrated with me. I'm frustrated with myself. I'm like, damn, why isn't this working? But hey, there's no other option. There's nothing we can do really. So let's just keep it going like that and see. Then he makes his own campaign with probably around zero strategy other than slightly shorter text. And I was thinking at this point, oh, well, he's gonna see now that it doesn't work that easily, and he's just, I don't know, he's gonna fail horribly. He's gonna realize how much he actually needs me because my results are at least better than his. And I shit you not, he calls me and he just says, I got 4 leads with my own crappy campaign. I left class to take the call at my university, and I'm just standing outside in silence because I can't believe what I just heard. And so that would have been like $40 for me, which, for some of you isn't that much, but it's money that I really could have needed, especially this month because I like fucking threw away all my money, it feels like. That's a story for another day. And yeah, so he just proved to him and myself that I'm not actually that valuable and that for that month, I'm definitely not getting paid. Like, I knew instantly, all right, there's no way I'm gonna be making money this month because why should he pay me for something that he can do himself much better and that he actually did himself? So it was over for that month. Money gone, out the window. So I sit down and I at least try and analyze everything. I try and look at his campaign and see, well, what did well? Why did it do well? What was better than my campaigns? And I see he uses shorter text with a bit more punch, which, yeah, fair. That's quite important, I think. I realized that a bit later and then I changed stuff up a bit, which seemed to work. But I'll make another video on that probably around tomorrow. Otherwise, I couldn't see how this campaign was any good whatsoever. He used a single video ad, which was sent to him by like a holding company, which was mediocre at best. He used a single ad set, just one with a couple texts there, nothing fancy at all. And he's even using the preset campaign function that only beginners use pretty much. If you don't know what it is, it just tells you like, all right, if you don't know really what you're doing, just put presets in or we'll do everything for you. And they don't really let you edit that if you press on it. So it really hinders your ability to advertise towards certain people. But he did that, because obviously he doesn't have that much knowledge on how to run a campaign. But then I realized something. He's using a traffic campaign, while I was using a lead campaign. And I'm thinking, well, it's a traffic campaign. It's not any good. I used to do them. They're not any good at all. But then it came to me. I've been advertising to a small city of around probably 100 to 200,000 people for months now. Probably 2 to 3, no, longer, 4 to 5, 6 months even. And they're almost entirely warm. Like everyone there has seen our ads for the gym a dozen times. And there are really not that many people, 100, 200,000 people, small city, and they're all a warm audience. So I figured a lead campaign would only decrease the amount of people that will see the ads, which it does, obviously, and drive costs up, which usually it does, so that it can figure out who is going to be really a good lead, who's going to click and become a lead based on data and go and become, one of our customers eventually, blah, blah, blah. However, what I didn't think about is that with a traffic campaign, because everyone's already part of the warm audience, they wouldn't need all this extra data. Facebook wouldn't need all this extra data to just advertise towards them, because everyone in the city could become a gym member technically. Well, let's say 80-90%. And so I realized that a traffic campaign would just up my click-through rate and drive the cost down of things like the cost per lead. And quickly before we go on, it would really help me out a lot if you subscribed. I would really appreciate it. Just one click of a button. Thanks. Let's go on. And that was my learning lesson for that day/week. After a while, if you've been advertising for a while and you've got a warm audience, you've turned the cold audience into a warm, partially even maybe hot audience. It doesn't matter if you have a lead or traffic campaign, because everyone is already aware of you and your product. So everyone is already like a lot more ready to buy than if they weren't aware of you or your product. And so I'm not saying go for traffic campaigns on a countrywide cold audience, that would probably be stupid. I mean, unless you want to just get traffic really. But if you've been advertising for a local business and been doing it for like 1 to 3 months, maybe try out a traffic campaign and see what happens. Costs are lower, so your cost per lead should also be lower. And especially if you're struggling with service delivery at this moment, you'd be doing yourself a favor testing this out, because you really can't do much worse. I mean, if I had just tested out a traffic campaign at that point, when he did, I would have made probably around $300 this month, 250 maybe, just from the leads that came in the last 10 days. So I should have tested it out. I didn't. I wasted lots of precious time just doing what I thought was the right way, even though it obviously wasn't working. By the way, I really don't have a course or mentorship or anything at all to sell you. I'm really just doing this to grow an audience and share my knowledge with a bunch of people. So if you do enjoy content like this, I'd really appreciate it if you just hit that big red subscribe button. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one.